Be live. Very nice move on QCLS to start today. I will get on it in just a moment. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Shorting very early, I see. GURE 1980. For now, I do want to check this out because it seems we have a nice continuation from yesterday. Yeah, very nice continuation. I believe I think I traded this yesterday too. Just check real quick. Yeah. This was definitely on watch yesterday, right at the end. Okay. But yeah, this one's definitely in play. Good volume. SMX is a monster. The way this thing has been moving, right? This is absolutely crazy. Shorts are in a lot of pain if they're holding some of these runners. Curious if this will convert to anything or not today. Yeah, the stock's only up 28%, but it feels like it's run a marathon. Good morning, Pierre. Good morning, good morning. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm pretty optimistic about today, I'm not gonna lie. SMX continuing its squeeze is very impressive to me. Now, I probably won't touch SMX because the thing's just way too expensive right now. But the fact that this thing is moving, even after such a massive extension, shows real promise for the smaller cap stocks too. I feel like there's going to be a lot of tension from large account short holders because of this move. But we shall see. As for QCLS, doesn't look like there's any news that is actually driving this. So this is purely a continuation play from the previous day. I don't know if I'm going to get involved with this. For now, I might just be patient and wait. We're having a nice pattern form here though, right? Bit of a bull flag holding up around this level. The clear breakout point is simply the next candle to make a new high right now, right? So watching around 9 would be a good entry. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on it, though. Might just wait and see how this plays out here. Okay. 9 was the clear entry. You got to move to 930s from that. So anyone who bought at 9 is looking good right now. Again, I just want to take a moment. I could have tried to get in on that 1 minute pullback, but I'm mostly just trying to read the situation right now. With the way SMX has moved, I want to make sure if I'm going to strike today, that I do so with the right temperature. As far as gappers, we don't really have that many impressive moves, other than SMX, of course. Right, it's really just QCLS and AKAN. For anyone just tuning in here for the start of the stream, if you could give me a like, I would appreciate it. Helps me get this out to more people. But yeah, so we kind of had this pop. The 1 minute high slash $9 price seems like it was a good buy for a quick pop. But the fact that this rolled over immediately isn't very reassuring. Right, it was holding up here on strong sentiment. You would expect the resolution to be something like 950 or even 10. The fact that this kind of just rolled back over is not reassuring. Okay, significant volume on both of these candles. Worth noting too, when this pop happened, the volume here was light at the time. Good morning, Context. Good morning. I haven't seen you here in a bit, I feel like. I haven't seen you talking much. How you doing? You doing alright? I'm actually going to size down here. This could be an entry for me. Okay, I'm still at 1/4. Gotcha. Yeah, this pullback's on lighter volume. I don't know if I want to get in here just because this was quite aggressive selling. But seeing us kind of cool off here, this could curl. There's a small chance of it. Well, not even small. Maybe like a 40% chance. AKAN, looks like we are spiking back a bit. That might detract from this move. You've been joining, but just watching? Oh, hey, no problems. I just noticed you hadn't been talking. I just was like, oh, he's here. Might as well say hello. Okay, we're actually getting something. I'm actually going to take quarter size here. I might even add another quarter size if this breaks down further. Yeah, we're seeing quite an extension on low volume now. This discrepancy is getting pretty big. We'll see if it converts to anything. Really fighting at this 850 level. Only 1/4 size. Good morning, Tristan. Good morning, good morning. Okay, slightly increasing volume here on this congestion. Just a wait and see for me at the moment. I don't think I want to add more here. Really struggling to break this 853. Okay, we did break it. We went up to 59. We'll see what the 1 minute new high gives us if we get it here. Not even giving a 1 minute high. But also low volume on this rollover attempt. I'm still bullish on this. I think I hold here. Even though this didn't make a 1 minute high, when it tried to roll over, it was on extremely light volume. That could have been a fake out to make short or to make long stop out. We'll see if we get any follow through. We did get the 1 minute high, but we'll see if this actually holds anything or not. It's really still struggling with this 859 area. Yeah, I'm gonna add here. We'll see if I get punished for it, but just the way this volume is acting, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of pressure when it's going down. It's still only half size, so not a lot of exposure here. A lot of buying at 40. I'm not liking that this hasn't resolved yet. I feel like this should have curled by now. But the fact that this keeps going down on low volume also tells me that it's weak for selling. I'm getting some mixed signals. Okay, it popped a 60, 58 there. We're going to see an actual attempt to break out of this 868 range. This is the critical level to watch. Good morning, Dang. Okay, I'm trying to sell half, sold half. Still holding the other half of this position. See if we can get more from it. Right, we went up to this level, took half off. We'll see if I was correct about this being the bottom. Bit difficult to read the situation now. This action feels a bit choppy here. This isn't really the resolution I wanted to see. Yeah. Volume's still light, though. Yeah, I mean, it looked like it just kind of went straight up here yesterday. I see there's some high-ranging candles here, though. Yeah, new 1 minute low here. It still seems to be retesting that 850, but we are having like a slight stair step down. Yeah. Light volume, but I don't know. This resolution really wasn't what I wanted to see. I see what you mean with WHLR. It's popping up on my scanners too now. Yeah, unfortunately, that might just detract from this move. People are going to see that and want to leave this for that. Yeah, WHLR is a very well-known death spiral stock. It's made the rounds several times. Okay, that's a pretty nasty flush on that. But the volume was light. I don't know if I add to that or not. I think I do there. A WHLR seems to have been rolling over here, so that actually might cause some buying pressure to return to this one. WHLR just kind of got brutalized. And honestly, even this one, right? We've rolled over most of the way here. Might try and take half off here. Reduce risk a little bit. Still holding quarter size again. I'm just gonna cut it. I don't know. I've given it so much time. Just gonna call it with that. I need a calculator for this because I ended up exiting and re-entering. Very unfortunate this just kind of rolled over too, right? Like this, we just didn't get any kind of curl. We had an attempted curl here, and I'm glad I took profit. But me trying to be more aggressive and hold longer just did not work at all for this. Okay, so 823 was my entry. WHLR looks like it's fully rolled over as well. I mean, it's bouncing here, but it did go all the way back. I think I have to give that a B just because the news isn't live on it. As for my exit... $8.30. Yeah, let me check out WHLR here. It looks like it's mostly died though. Right, we just kind of had this pop and it just immediately rolled over. So we're 0 for 2 in terms of stocks moving and holding, right? WHLR rolled over. QCLS rolled over. So we're still seeing short aggression, despite SMX being a monster. Right, this is insane. This is incredible to look at. Like, it's insane, right? Like, look at where this moved from. Look at where this came from. This was down at $3, and now it's at $280 in a week. Shorts are in unbelievable pain. But they're still feeling the confidence to short everything else. Very interesting. Yeah, only $5.50 in profit. I was up like $10, but I didn't sell. Well, I sold half, but I didn't take the rest. Yeah, I get caught in this. SMX, very expensive to locate, though. Many shorts don't participate. It might be a few with too much money and too little trading skill. Well, no, I mean, you gotta think too. Anybody who got, because there's clearly somebody who's propping this up massively. So I don't think this is just someone who's inexperienced. I think there was a major short seller who just got trapped, right? This is a stock with a float under $1 million. If they short this, I don't know what the short interest is, but if they borrowed shares and maybe they shorted 100,000, I mean, if somebody just bought up the whole float and is refusing to sell, you just get killed, right? You just can't, you physically can't get out unless you want to buy at 300, right? I mean, definitely somebody's been liquidated. This is clear liquidation. Someone that's a short seller is getting killed right now. They're getting destroyed. And I thought, I mean, I was hoping that this would convert to other stocks holding up, but we're not really seeing that. Yeah, we got 2 minutes till the half hour. We'll see if we get any news to follow up on here. I don't know. So, was it correct? Because my thinking was with this, even though stocks have been mostly rolling over, because SMX is being squeezed, shorts might be afraid to attack. So I was willing to only take profit and I was willing to hold. And it appears that instead of just taking the full profit and holding, I was punished for it. So now the question is, for the half hour, do I adapt? Do I become more strict? Or do I give it another chance? We've only really seen 2 stocks. We're 0-2, but that's only a sample size of 2. SMX has also been squeezing up even more in this last half hour. So perhaps the next stocks that move will be treated differently because of that. We're lacking small cap volume in small caps, otherwise everything would run. So for another hot sector. I think there's more to it than that. I think that's a too basic of a description of the situation. But we'll see. I think I'm willing to still reach a little bit, right? Hold a little bit longer, add into momentum. I tried it on this trade, slight green, mostly punished. Mostly punished for holding, should I say. And yeah, if I take the loss, then it is what it is, but I still want to put myself out there a bit more today. WHLR somewhat holding. I still don't trust the stock at all. Historically, I mean, you look at the daily of this thing. Like this thing, like you would think it flatlined. It's how bad it is. You keep having to zoom in to get the right price action. I don't even know what the float is. Float's probably low, right? I mean, both Thinkorswim and Lightspeed are saying under 1 million. I kind of believe that. Also, we consolidated very nicely on this support for the rally. Funny, I drew this line a long time ago, and the fact that it's acting as very clear support here. Very, very interesting. Also, no news. Wait, really? So there was no news on WHR or QCLS? Both of these were interesting. Okay. Yeah, Insanity SMX. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. It's rare we see those kind of moves. I mean, I'm not trading it, obviously, but I'm still just watching it. Like, going to $430? Like, Jesus. I could trade with one share and my risk is too high for that stock. The thing's ranging like $30 a minute, sometimes more. But yeah, that's game over for SMX short sellers, definitely. I am liking how this had this fake out and we're curling now. Okay, 23,000 share seller there at 480. Kind of want to see how price reacts there. Broke through. Gonna go to 1/4 size for this. I might try a micro pullback. Yeah, anyone short SMX, they had a bad time. I'm in quarter size here on WHLR. On this breakdown, this volume was quite low. Looks decent. We'll see if we get a retracement. I timed the bottom pretty good on this. Yeah. Trying to get out at 74. Sold 7 shares. Are you kidding me, dude? Oh, you're kidding me. Come on. Don't tease me. Okay, got the rest out. Nice little $6.50 winner there. Only 1/4 size because this thing is quite whiplashy. So 2 for 2 for trades so far. That was an incredibly strong trade, by the way. Yeah, if you noticed, I held that one a little longer. I had higher conviction. I wanted to hold for a bigger move, but it seemed like it was just struggling around here, so figured I was already in decent profit. Just take it. Yeah, that was an A quality. Yeah. Did end up breaking to 5. Yeah, WHR is complete dilution. This company dilutes like crazy on this stock. I remember at one point I was doing an analysis. This was like years ago, back when I thought WHR was like a fundamental play, because I'm like, oh, it's so cheap, it's so oversold. I feel like everybody does that the first time they see a death spiral stock. They think, wow, this thing's at such a great deal, it's gotta bounce. 88, yeah, ADTX, very similar. This is also another death spiral stock. No news. Okay, what is going on? Why are all of these stocks popping with no news? This is 3 times now we've seen a death spiral stock pop with no news. Yeah, WHR is ripping. Man, feels bad missing that, but it is what it is. Okay. What do I make of this then? Is there going to be a similar thing with ADTX, or is this just going to roll over? Maybe someone just randomly pumped 10,000 shares to try and get people interested. I'll keep an eye on ADTX, but I'm going to watch WHLR. Yeah, very, very high volume, right? 500,000 is basically the whole float. Looks like there was a seller at 85. Yeah, these are all low floats. You are correct, right? WHLR, ADTX, these are both low floats. The fact that these are all popping on no news is very interesting to me too. It's almost like people just don't care that there's no news. They just want to buy something that's a low float. Or perhaps even people that were short these stocks are saying, I got to get out of this. I don't want to be in another SMX squeeze. Right? You figure you're short WHLR, 500,000 share float, similar to SMX. You're saying, I don't want to be the last short to get out of this thing. I want to be first, and they're just bailing. Maybe that's what's actually creating the volatility. That could be a thesis. Yeah, so this popped up to 6 twice. See how it acts at 550. I might go in here for quarter size if this drops down more. There is pressure at 550. I don't know how big it is. Imagine if I was still holding that position from here. You can't ever know for sure though. ADTX. More movement. This one feels a little bit less clean though, right? There's a lot more chop. You have a rug pull here too. This feels less clean. Yeah, I don't really feel comfortable getting in here. I want to see it develop more. Really ranging around this 580 level. I'd be curious to see if there were warrants for the $6 price, because it seems like anytime WHR gets LR gets here, it just sells off. Makes me wonder if there's warrant holders at that price level. Very nice extension. Popped all the way to 775. This is a very interesting rebound, too, when you think about it. Because we had this pop and roll over. So this looked like it died. Yeah, warrants at 634. Well, it just seems logical, right? The fact that price rejected here, you could maybe infer that there was somebody was trying to sell here. Warrants at 634 is natural, that there would be a resistance around that level. Yeah, there's always a reason for every price reaction. And the unfortunate reality is that warrants are converting in all of this. So you are having selling pressure form here. I do think, though, that this is also partially a short squeeze, right? This popped up, shorts pushed it down. I bet you there's people that shorted this because everything's been failing, and they haven't been covering. They've been just adding. That would be my assumption. So you've got the shorts covering, pushing it. You've got the warrants converting, which is pushing it down. So you've got a lot of players involved here. It's kind of hard for me to gauge what... I mean, it really depends, right? Like, how many warrants are there? It's hard to say. I think for now, I just need to sit on the sidelines and watch. Wait for a proper entry. The shorts were 100 shares for 205 when I first looked at it. Now 100 share locates are $4. Or sorry, 54. That's a huge spike. $2.05 for 100. Now it's 54. Right, that's a 27x increase. It's very significant. Like, I'm tempted to want to punch it here. Right, you can see that it's been just curling higher. But now that we're above warrant territory, I'm kind of afraid to expose myself. I would much rather see us pull back to 6, where we have this clear support, and then see how price acts. But this is so strong, so I'm not sure if it's even going to do that. ADTX is also doing some interesting movement. Like, it hasn't settled down. Right? I feel some people could be thinking this is the next WHLR, so that might be why there's some pressure here. Right? You're even seeing a slight trend up. ADTX again moving. Right, 330 to 370. That's, I mean, it's a 30-cent move. Oh, WHLR though. Sorry, I got to go back to this. Whoa. I feel like I'm flip-flopping between my order sizing just because of the extremities. Yeah, so I can't... I feel like I need to wait for one more push down. I'm gonna buy. I could have maybe tried below 6. This volume isn't even terrible for that. But I'd rather wait for an extra push down. Give us like 540s at this point. Or maybe 560s. Yeah, actually probably 560 since I'm at 1/4 size. Could bounce here. This is clear support. Okay, it looks like we had a bit of a bounce here. ADTX also rolling over. Yeah, 410 all the way down to 310. Full dollar drop. These are some nasty knives. It's a little bit tempting to try and get in here, but given this volume profile, a bit difficult. Getting a vibe from GURE. Someone mentioned GURE earlier. Look at it. Yeah, I can see it's holding up nicely. curling a little bit. Volume's a little bit low, though. It's kind of overshadowed by the previous move. It's almost tempting to want to get involved with this because of how WHLR resolved, right? It kind of did a fake out as well. Although this one feels a lot more just a straight up rug pull, right? At least with WHLR, it was kind of a more gradual sell off. This one was literally just churn, pop, flush. So I'm a little bit more hesitant to jump on ADTX, even though it's pulled back a bit. Okay. This looks interesting. I'd like to see it go into 540 territory, 530 territory. So we went from 640 down to basically 550. It very briefly touched 540, so this might have been my entry. So that might have just been a miss. Still watching ADTX. It's curled back a good bit. These stocks are not playing friendly at all. Right, if I'm trying to engage with something like this where it's doing moves like this, it just doesn't feel like a good idea, like I'm playing with fire. Another leg down on WHLR. Gonna get in here. Quarter size, 511. Might add if we go down to 5. There was a bit of a wall at 25. Looks like it might still be there. Yeah, it looks like there was a wall at 25 and they're still there. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it. It's struggling even after breaking 25. I feel like there could be a seller here. You historically lose on Friday, so gonna take it easy. Stuff seems to be continue to rolling over. Care for everyone. Yeah, it seems like a very explosive environment, right? Like, this definitely feels like backside, or rather at least significant pressure. 25 did end up breaking, so my call that the seller was holding here was incorrect. Or at least it appears to be incorrect. I ended up cashing out for the small winner. But I did give it time, right? I gave it about 1 minute of testing 525, and it was struggling to break it. And then when it did break it, we saw that it was hesitating. So, yeah, I think what I did was correct there. Give it B plus. Reduced size across the board for all these trades, though. Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, right, we're not seeing this immediate bounce. If we're going to have huge flushes like this, we really need to see it immediately. Also, ADTX. Moving down further. Yeah, this doesn't feel in play yet. I'm keeping an eye on it, but it doesn't feel in play yet. TDIC is moving, but it is a penny stock, so I'm not interested in it. Just throwing it out there in case any of you guys want to check it out. Yeah, you and I just saw it at the same time, flip-flop. Yeah. Yeah, it does look good. It's just a penny stock, so I won't trade it. But if anyone is interested in penny stocks, you can check that one out. Looks like it has something going on with it. I mean, accuracy is really good today. 3 for 3 so far, but they're all small winners, right? I'm not really building a big cushion on the day. And on top of that, I'm not really getting the clean resolution I'm looking for. I keep getting suboptimal exits. My entries are fine. It's just, I think all three of my, well, no, the second trade was actually okay. But the first and third trades, my exits were not what I anticipated they would be. Yeah, that is interesting how that timing worked out. I always wonder if these things are really coincidence or if they line up with each other. But yeah, like I said, we saw this pressure at 525. When I saw us break it the first time, it wasn't a clean break. We struggled, so I got out. And now seeing that it's really struggling to break out, I feel a lot more satisfied with my decision. I could have made like an extra $2, but I think the principle was correct. I saw a red flag, so I got out of the way. Yeah, we are at 8 o'clock, so we will see if we get any news at the top of the hour. And I will participate if I see anything worth trading. While we're waiting for the news to come out, I see we have a good bit of people here. Hello. If you could do me a favor and leave a like, it would help me out, get this out to more people. I do stream every day. If you guys are new here, if you're interested in all this and you like what I'm doing, maybe subscribe. I would appreciate it. This channel is still very small right now. I only started streaming like a month ago. Yeah, so we are getting a bit of the breakout now. It took 5 minutes. We're also on lighter volume. I don't have super high expectations of this, so I'm probably going to sit this one out. You already subscribed last week. I appreciate it, Tristan. Thank you. See, Tristan, you can tell him. I stream every day, don't I? Don't I, Tristan? I've been here every day. Even on the boring days. Give it a couple more minutes here. Usually takes a minute or two for me to see them on the scanners if they come up. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on the scanners yet. Still just waiting. Yeah, I'm not too happy with either of these setups for a trade in the immediate. This one just, after this rug and the volume's dried up, this feels closer to a rug pull. I mean, if we curl and it starts to repeat the pattern of WHLR, maybe I'd be more interested. But I feel like ADTX is mostly off the table for me now. We have a lot of people saying no to SMX making a new high. Are you sure about that? Because I personally think there is a double-digit % chance that SMX will make a new high today. Right, the high being at around 440s or whatever that is. So this spike, it could be a number of things. Like, I could theorize a couple things. So one could just be liquidation. So if you imagine that someone had to put a buy order in, market makers see the massive order come in, so they pull their orders, and then the price spikes up to whoever has an order here. That's one possibility. Not sure. Looks like a blow off top, short squeeze in pre-market in SMX. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the odds it returns to highs are a high percentage chance, but I'm just saying, given the way this thing has acted, I think there is at least a 10% chance that it does go back up. Right? It's a non-0% chance. So we're kind of just grinding higher on HT or WHLR. Again, I'm not really interested in that. Unfortunately, as far as news goes, it looks like the 8 o'clock mark did not give any news. So we're mostly just going to be watching WHLR, ADTX, waiting for the half hour, unless we see something better. Is what it is. A very small cushion on the day. But I'm not super worried about having like a $50 loss now. Now it'll only be a $30 loss. RGC. I don't remember that one, but the name's familiar. I'm assuming it's probably a short squeeze as well. The fact that I can recall the name, that alone tells me that it was relevant at some point. See, it was also... Wonder if it's even still on here. Okay. I mean, like this. So what did it do? Like pre-market or something? Just went up massively. I mean, this is like, what, a 5x return? 4 or 5x return? Still impressive, right? I mean, I'm talking like a 500% move is nothing. Certainly impressive. But yeah, the name does... I don't know if I was actually involved in this squeeze, because I don't remember it. I mean, if it happened during the day, then that would explain why, right? Yeah, I think the only way I'd be interested in WHLR is if it breaks this level and holds it. This seems like the clear resistance to watch. Do you think they did a split or something? Pretty sure it did hit like 900. Dude, there's no way. How do I not remember this? Yeah, I don't remember it. I'm blanking. Okay, so we did go up and basically almost tap this level before pulling back. Yeah, I think best case scenario would be seeing us come back, break this level, and then come back to retest it. And I think that would be a clean entry. It's a bit of a long shot that it's going to do all that, but I think that's what I would want to see. I have KITT coming up on the scanners for me. Okay, high volume, but just wrong direction. Okay. Looks like we're 60-40. There's some conviction in people saying that that SMX would roll back. TDIC. Yeah, that was the penny stock, right? Yeah, that's the penny stock. Yeah, it certainly looks interesting. It's just a bit too cheap for me to participate in. $38-to-1 split. Okay, I mean that's crazy. So if it had a 5x return with $900 a share, what would that be? No, it would have been fairly highly priced, even if it was at 900. Don't think it ever got to 1,000. Okay, so this thing is curling back, and it looks like we might break this level. Interesting, too, during this period, we had lower volume. I'm starting to get interested in this stock again. You could even argue maybe this selling pressure was warrants exercising. So now that pressure might be gone for the next attempt. if we get it. Wait, you might have, you just didn't track it after that. It wasn't a double intraday. Did keep running after the 5-6 skip. Okay. Very interesting. I saw this one moving earlier. I didn't actually look at it. It's kind of out of play, but I can at least look at it while we're waiting. So HCTI. This one had some movement with increased volume, but again, no news. Yeah. Okay, this is just totally out of play then. IRBT. Yep, you called it out at the same time I saw it. Yeah. So let's see. Again, no news. We're just seeing all this stuff moving with no news. Shares outstanding is quite high on this too. The fact this went from 320 to 360 in 2 minutes with no news. Kind of weird. Level 2, not super thick at the moment, but I have a feeling it's going to become thick quickly. It's a Trump theme. That sounds about right. Yeah, to me, I'm just a bit iffy to get in on it, just because of the float. Well, I mean, the float and the no news catalyst. I suppose you could call it a continuation play, right? So there was news that came out 2 days ago that you had this move. So you could argue maybe this is a continuation of this move. So that would kind of solve the no catalyst issue. But is that enough? Because we still have the float problem. And it looks like WHLR could be curling back to the downside. Unsure. We had this fake out here. Anyone who got in long is feeling some pain right now. Kind of just ranging. Right? This has mostly lost its momentum. We've ranged for the last 15 or so minutes. Notably, despite this ranging, the volume is relatively elevated, the same as back here. So same volume profile for this as this move, which seems like a bit of a discrepancy when you think about it. So I would anticipate that this stock in the near future makes a move. RBT moving more. Just wondering if this was going to flush or not. That could have been a buy depending on what this candle looked like, because on this pullback we were seeing decreasing volume. If this breakdown was on continued low volume, this would have been a valid buy point. Unfortunately, I didn't have the stock pulled up at the time. Yeah, I'll just be honest. This thing's not even up that much, and it's a higher float. I feel like there's significant headwinds to trying to trade this on the front side. I mean, I could maybe test with 1/4 exposure just to try it. But the higher float's kind of nagging at me. We've got this high here from the previous move at 368. So that's a natural resistance up here. I go with KITT on the flush. What was KITT again? Okay, we're getting a move on WHLR again. Yeah. 620 to 7, 80-cent move. We're getting that confirmed volume too. Gonna size down. Okay, I'm on the correct size. 10,000 share seller at 669. A lot of tension here. So if we see a pullback to maybe 640s, that could be a good starter. But if this thing just rolls over completely, this could turn into just a giant rug. Yeah, maybe, no. Considering how high this volume is, if this turns into a rug, this could go all the way back down to 6. I think 640s might be too aggressive. Maybe not buy immediately on 640s. See it go to like 630s, then retest 650 and break. That might be a cleaner entry. Big seller there at around 680. Just got eaten up though. We're seeing a lot of fake outs on both sides. It keeps looking like it's going to run, and it keeps looking like it's going to flush. And it's just not really doing either. If we see this breakdown more, I might be interested. Okay, quarter size there, 618. Actually gonna cut it. I'm seeing a lot of selling pressure going through. I didn't like to see that. That's rough too. I sold near the lows of that. We did reclaim 6, but when we were at around 603, 605, I just saw a massive flood of red orders go through on the tape. Spooked me out. I was thinking we were going to see a big flush below 6. Alright, we got 5 minutes till the half hour. I think I might just sit tight. Still not a big loss, but... So it did end up bouncing to 625. So I could have got back to break even and even a little bit of profit, but... Too many red flags to hold that. First time viewer, your calm demeanor and methodical thinking has earned you a subscriber. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I mean, I try to be collected whenever I'm taking this, because the last thing you want to do, even though this trade didn't work out, the last thing you want to do is panic or do something irrational. Right? I was wrong on the thesis. I got in here on this flush thinking we would see a bounce. When I saw us go down to 6, And then as we attempted to pop, I saw a big order of red. To me, that's just too many signals, and I just have to look at it logically and say, hey, there's a bunch of red signals here. You didn't time the bottom. You got to get out of the way. So even if this rolls back up, to me, I think I made the right call. Shorted CLIK, 7, no news, barely any volume. What does that look like? Yeah, you're right. This is very low volume. Yeah, very strange. Yeah, I think I'm just going to sit tight for the half hour, see if we get anything. WHLR is curling a bit, but I don't think I'm going to touch it here. CLIK not tradable on Thinkorswim. Interesting. Yeah, Thinkorswim's been very frustrating lately. Or at least for me, even just trying to swing trade. I've noticed a lot of stocks are restricted. And I've heard a lot of people saying that small cap stocks are also restricted, like SMX, you can't trade that on Thinkorswim. And yeah, I've seen a lot of small cap stocks are just getting straight up restricted. You're not allowed to trade them. Also, you've got people like, what was it, Relentless Trader and their group, where Thinkorswim was just banning them from the platform because, well, they didn't give a reason, but they're momentum traders and they were making money. So, yeah, I don't know. I still use Thinkorswim for the charts. I think they're excellent. And, I mean, they're free. So, that's awesome. But as far as actual execution, I'm not I really don't know if Thinkorswim is the best broker for a day trader anymore. Just because you have trouble finding stocks you're able to actually execute orders on. That seems problematic to me. You've seen it's just Chinese stocks? It's definitely not just Chinese stocks. It's definitely not. They might target those ones more. I could definitely see that. But they definitely don't just target Chinese stocks. Maybe another way to calibrate it would be to say they target stocks with high volatility risk, right? Chinese stocks are more prone to pump and dumps. And because they might get the back end of the stick on that, they don't want to engage with those kind of stocks. So they just say, hey, you can't trade them. That, to me, that seems more realistic. They might just be restricting them because of high volatility. And it just so happens Chinese stocks fit that bill a bit more. That's my opinion, of course. I don't know why they did it. That's just my thoughts. But yeah, we're at the half hour here. And we will see if there's anything new to trade. QCLS for a bounce. Let me look at it. I traded this one earlier, right? Yeah, I traded this one this morning. Here I wouldn't be interested just because the volume's too high. Anytime you see selling pressure like this with high volume, that could indicate that a major seller is just doing large-scale distribution. Not to say that's always the case, but just as a general rule, if I see high volume on high selling pressure, I avoid it. I think it's too dangerous. Every single time I get restricted, I look up the stock and it's Chinese. Honestly, 100% of the time for you. But yeah, it's probably the case not all the time. If you stream level 2 data, you are now distributing data which you need in agreement with FINRA, so you must be delayed. I see. Okay, let me go ahead and write that down, because if that's true, I do have a small delay, but it's not very big. If that is true, and it makes sense it would be, I will have to adjust on that. So I'll make a note of it. After this, I'm going to look into it. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I think you're probably right too. It makes sense. JFBR. All right. Yeah, we do have news, you're right. Enters into definitive agreement with Scannery. Yeah, but YouTube is already delayed by a few seconds. Yeah, there's like a 10 or 15-second delay on this stream. But realistically, I think Aaron has a strong point. Regardless of what it is, I definitely should do research after this and see what the rules are, because they might just have straight up rules that say, hey, you got to do at least this much delay or something. So, yeah, after the stream, and I'll have the weekend to check, but after the stream, I'll figure it out. And if there is a rule or something like that in place, then I'll have to make an adjustment for going forward. But yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, we popped here, but we just kind of rolled over immediately. Float's very low on this stock. Most streamers hide the level too. Yeah. That might just be the case. It kind of sucks too, because the level 2 is really nice to look at. So if I have to hide it or delay the stream or whatever, I'll do whatever I have to do. Don't want to do anything to get me in trouble. Very nice breakout here. It is moving a bit slower though. Right, even on this range, this is like... Well, no, that's about 30 cents. That range is significant. WHLR is also curling too. So I'm watching that as well. WHLR gave me $7 so far. I mean, it's something. Yeah, a lot of noise here. Yeah, WHLR, that's frustrating too. It just kind of broke out and now it's just completely reversed. right? You buy up at 740 for the break of 750 and you just get stuck in a 70-cent rug. Hmm. Very clean breakout there. All right, back to 25 shares we go. Flip-flopping between stocks. The Ross Camerons of the world may be jumping into this one. Yeah, there's definitely potential, right? The fact that we curled all the way back up here shows shorts are probably under pressure. This was a very nice squeeze here. Hmm. All right, I'm in quarter size here. Might even add to this. Okay, I did get an add in. Don't know if I add a third time. I probably just leave it at that. This volume's quite high. Very nasty flush on this one. Did not expect it to go down that much. I think I got to get out of the way of it too. The fact it didn't immediately bounce after this high of volume. That's very strange too, because this was such a clear area to get involved. Because it's like a high of day break. This whole thing was building up to this. And then just the moment it breaks it, it just flushes. And it's high volume too. If this was low volume, this break, I would have had conviction to keep holding. But when volume's this high on this, I can't hold that. I need a better entry. And to think after I got out, it went down another 30 cents. $6.50 would be the 9 EMA. There goes our cushion for the day. No, I'll drop it to B because of the high volume. Yeah. Hate to see this kind of loss whenever I'm just getting incremental gains. Yeah, JFBR also just kind of ranging here. This one's also a lower float. Despite the higher volume, this just really isn't breaking out. Certainly tension on it. Probably waiting for market breakout. From 7 to 10. Yeah, I mean, WHLR, it'll be very interesting to see how it plays during the day. JFBR is moving a lot slower than I would expect for an alleged 500,000 share outstanding stock. I mean, it is a death spiral, so it's possible it's been diluted and that share count is inaccurate. What a breakout on that. 30 cents. Okay, so that's the range I was really looking for. But seeing it kind of just churn like this for so long. Hmm. Okay, significant volume on this. We'll see if this ends up rolling over or if we go higher. A lot of back and forth on this one. Okay, I'm in here. We'll see if we hold or if we just go all the way back. Low volume on this push down. Tested this multiple times now for this break. I'm cutting it. Not seeing an immediate break there. It's a deal breaker for me. I already gave it 2 minutes of time to prove itself. Oh, and now we're going to see it pull away without me. You should do a special when you hit 100 consistent watchers. I mean, if I ever get to that point. Like, this channel's grown consistently, right? We're already at 50 on a lot of days here. I don't know, maybe there's something. I'm not really sure. I'll have to think about things to try. $5 on the dot would be a 100% move for JFBR. Wonder if we can get there prior to open or not. Does seem like to be heavy trading. $5 is a pretty big ask for it to get there, given how much this has been churning, even on this move up. Wonder if entry would be ideally 310. Yeah, 310. I think 310 would be an excellent entry personally. That's something I would consider. Me, at least. You do you, of course. Very back and forth day for me today. It's frustrating too. Like when I got in here on this week pullback, just seeing it struggle for 2 minutes, and then when it broke, it was an instant resolution. And then even then when it did resolve, it just rolled over. Not really high conviction on this. Yeah, this is kind of just churning higher. We're not really seeing really big... I mean, we had this big move here. But it seems like we've just been kind of slowly raising the floor. Maybe the better approach would have been to just be willing to hold for the grind up and only stop out once you see the price reverse. Couldn't have known that, of course. And now it's running without me, so... Missed out on maybe like 20 cents. It's only half size, so about 10 cents, about $10 or so profit. Missed out here. But I gave it a chance when it didn't resolve cleanly. Just wanted to get out of the way. It's up 60% on the day. It's significant. Yeah, it's certainly similar to SMX, right? You got the low float. You actually have news on this. WHLR did a nice move, and it was a low float. Conversely, though, you could also argue ADTX should have ran too, right? Because it's also a low float, but it's just kind of traded sideways. Your Discord was mentioning it yesterday, and now it has news. I mean, looking at it yesterday, right? Yesterday evening, it was staying at around these elevated levels. It would make sense to keep it on watch for today. Yeah, it looked like it got rugged pretty hard too. That might have just killed the momentum. But yeah, we got 5 minutes till the top of the hour. Like usual, I'll stay a few minutes after just to see if anything comes up. If nothing comes up, then I'm gonna bounce. Yeah, this really isn't, given the volume we're seeing, it's not really moving quite the way I would have wanted it to. Four, 330s also looks decent for an entry. You got some support here. I might be interested if we see a price drop down to this area. I think otherwise I'm just not really messing with it right now. We're coming up on top of the hour, so new news might come out. I want something clean. WHLR also looking like it could be rolling over here. Very impressive movers today. I just really couldn't capitalize on this move. Yep. This looks good. Can we get a little bit more? A lot of volume flooding in here. Let's see if it bounces here or not. I was looking at how this volume was descending. When we had this breakdown to 340, the volume was low. So this could have been a buy opportunity, low 340s. I wanted a bit more, though. Didn't have a lot of time to react to that one. Still crazy to me that SMX is still trading around the $300 mark. That's... yeah, I see it moving on the side. Okay, JPR continuing back here. Yeah, now I'm probably wanting closer to 320s. There was probably distribution that occurred here, if I had to guess. Because this didn't end up bouncing. So this is now going to become a wall. See, I really need like low 320s. Maybe 310s. We are also at 9 o'clock, so we'll see if we get any actual news catalysts. WHLR selling off a bit more here. Yeah, but these are just small drops. They're not anything too crazy. Two candles of high volume, or higher volume. This could turn into something. AGAE is moving, but it is a penny stock. So I'm not going to mess with this one. How many trades have I taken today? 6. Got it. Yeah, TT, a little bit of a spike. This thing's just not moving enough. Not really interested. Give it another minute. If I don't see anything else here, then I think I'm just going to scoop for the day. JFBR, very nice surge though. Okay, there's another headline here. Agrees to distribution deal. Looks good. I'm gonna take half size here. See if we break 4 and run. All right, out there for a nice little hit. Could have got another 10 cents out of this, but still a pretty nice little base hit here. Yeah, so this was particularly strong because this volume was exceptionally high, and we had a very fresh catalyst on it. TORO also moving. This does have news, 9:05. I kid you not, I was 1 minute from ending the stream. Not even 1 minute from ending the stream. All right, we'll watch TORO, and we will continue watching JFBR for just a little bit here. See if either give a good setup. So what is this? Special dividend of 175 a share. That sounds good on paper. TORO does have a higher float though, so that's not really ideal. I'm gonna try and get a fill here if I can. 2 shares. All right, we're in the ride. We're in the ride, boys. 2 shares. Are you kidding me? Oh, that is so frustrating. 2 shares. Oh my god. That would have been such a good winner. Well, 68 cents on 2 shares. Incredible. That's one for the history books. I'm a bit frustrated from that one. Literally timed it perfectly and only got 2 shares filled. 2 shares. Such a clean entry too, right? 451 straight up to almost 5. It would have been like a $20+ winner. But it happens. When you try buying the bottom, sometimes you just don't get a fill. JPR. Going back here. You made 51 cents on Toro, so I'm right there with you. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating because my entry was excellent too. If there was just even a smidge more selling pressure, I was in there. I'm still watching Toro on the side here. It's pushing towards 5. So this would be nice to grab for a knife, but the volume's too high, so I'm going to be a little more patient. Green is green in your best OCC voice. No, I mean, I'm happy I'm green. Always got to be thankful for anything you can get out of the market. Nothing is guaranteed, right? And statistically, people lose money. So anytime I'm green, I should be happy. It's just a little bit frustrating today because I had a bunch of near misses where I almost had good winners, but just didn't quite hit them. I feel like I got a little bit unlucky today with some of the timing. But that's reality. If I'm upset every time I get unlucky, then I'm not being realistic. Very nice push on this. Looks like a bit of a wall at 18. That wall might be converting to something. We'll see. This might just need a pullback. It is a bit extended. Volume is continuing to increase. Not really getting clean pullbacks either. It's only micro pullbacks, right? We've had 10 candles, 9 candles of green in a row. It looks like this might be the start of the pullback. Still very high volume on this candle too. CMBM continued listing. Okay. So we've tapped up here 3 times now. This still looks quite strong because this hasn't been having pullbacks at all. Broke it by a few cents, and then a big move here. Moderate volume. I'm still worried that there's just a big seller here because this break could just be a bull trap. This is also still quite extended. Got decreasing volume, but it's still quite high overall. Looks like there was a hidden buyer at 501. Yeah. So we've had two fake outs now. We had this breakout here that faked out. And we had this curl where this first 1 minute high also had a fake out. So anyone trying to go long on this keeps getting burned. Volume's remaining elevated too. This thing's just kind of stalled out. Even though it's still got such high volume, it's not really moving here. All right, I think I'm going to just call it here. I tried to give this time, but didn't end up resolving. I was a little optimistic just because I managed to get an excellent entry here. And seeing this follow through where it just kind of grinded higher looked like it was promising. But it just didn't really give a clean pullback. And when it finally did, it just turned into chop. But all right, I'm going to call it here. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and I will be back on Monday. Take care, everybody.